Paris Nord is one of the 6 large terminus stations of the SNCF mainline network for Paris, France. Near Gare de Lay in the 10th arrondissement, the Gare du Nord offers connections with several urban transport lines, including Paris Métro, RER and buses. By the number of travelers, at around 190 million per year, it is the busiest railway station in Europe, the 24th busiest in the world and the busiest outside Japan. The Gare du Nord is the station for trains to northern France and to international destinations in Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. The station complex was designed by the French architect Jacques Hittorf and built between 1861 and 1864. History. The first Gare du Nord was built by bridge and roadway engineers on behalf of the Chemin.De du Nord Company, which was managed by Élie Coutances Reynaud, professor of architecture at the École Polytechnique. The station was inaugurated on 14 June 1846, the same year as the launch of the Paris-Amiens-Lille rail link. Since the station was found to be too small in size, it was partially demolished in 1860 to provide space for the current station. The original station's facade was removed and transferred to Lille. The chairman of the Chemin.De du Nord Railway Company, James Mayer Rothschild, chose the French architect Jacques-Ignace Hittorf to design the current station. Construction lasted from May 1861 to December 1865, but the new station opened for service while still under construction in 1864. The facade was designed around a triumphal arch and used many slabs of stone. The building has the usual U-shape of a terminus station. The main support beam is made out of cast iron. The support pillars inside the station were made at Alston and Amp Gourley's Ironworks in Glasgow in the United Kingdom, the only country with a foundry large enough for the task. The sculptural display represents the principal cities served by the company. 8 of the 9 most majestic statues crowning the building along the cornice line illustrate destinations outside France, with the 9th figure of Paris in the center. 14 more modest statues representing northern European cities are lower on the facade. The sculptors represented are London and Vienna by Jean-Louis Jailly, Brussels and Warsaw by François Jouffroy, Amsterdam by Charles Gumery, Frankfurt by Gabriel Thomas, Berlin by Jean-Joseph Perard, Cologne by Mathurin Moreau, Paris, Boulogne and Compiègne by Pierre-Jules Cavelier, Arcennes-Léon by Théodore Charles Grier, Lille and Beauvais by Charles-François Leboeuf, Valenciennes and Calais by Philippe Joseph Henry Lemaire, Rouen and Amiens by Eugène-Louis Lecain, Douai and Dunkirk by Gustave Krauch, Cambrai and Saint-Quentin by Auguste Otten. It was originally planned that a monumental avenue would be constructed leading up to the station's facade, cutting through the old street layout. However, this was never built due to a dispute between de Rothschild and Baron Georges-Eugène Haussmann during his rebuilding of Paris. One version claims that the lack of a boulevard was due to Haussmann discovering that his wife was having an affair with the Gare du Nord's architect, Jacques-Ignace Hittorf, though this story is unlikely, since Hittorf, born in 1792, was 73 years old when the station was completed, and died 2 years later. Whatever the reason, the station has persistently suffered problems with a lack of space and poor access. To remedy these problems, in 2015 SNCF engaged the architect Jean-Michel Wilmot to open the station towards the city. It is intended that the station will undergo a major refurbishment to be completed by 2024, when Paris hopes to host the Olympic Games. The station will remain open opened during the renovations. The mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo, has also pledged to address the traffic problems in front of the station by reconfiguring its approaches. Service. Like other Parisian railway stations, the Gare du Nord rapidly became too small to deal with the increase in railway traffic. In 1884, engineers were able to add 5 supplementary tracks. The interior was completely rebuilt in 1889 and an extension was built on the eastern side to serve suburban rail lines. More expansion work was carried out between the 1930s and the 1960s. Beginning in 1906 and 1908, the station was served by the Metro Line 4, which crosses Paris from north to south, and the terminus of Metro Line 5, which ran to Étoile through Place.Italie. In 1942, Line 5 was extended towards the northern suburbs of Pantin and Bobigny, while its south terminus was set to Place.Italie. Metro Line 2 is linked to the Gare du Nord via an underground tunnel. One enters the metro station and, instead of climbing the stairs that lead to the elevated metro line, descends several flights of stairs, before traversing a long, arched circular hallway to enter the station. Finally, in 1994, the arrival of Eurostar trains required another reorganization of the rail tracks. Platforms 1 and 2, service platforms, not open to the public. Platforms 3 to 6, terminus of the London Eurostar via the Channel Tunnel. Platforms 7 and 8, Thalys platforms for Belgium, Germany and the Netherlands. Platforms 9 to 18, TGV North mainline trains, and some Picard-Air. Platforms 19 to 21, Picard-Air. Platforms 30 to 36, Suburban Station, Transiliens and Picard-Air. Platforms 41 to 44, RER Station, Lines B and D. 4 Metro platforms, Lines 4 and AMP 5. It is also connected to Magenta RER Station and La Chapelle Metro Station. Today, the Gare du Nord is the busiest railway station in Europe, with over 700,000 passengers daily. Most of the passengers are commuters traveling in from the northern suburbs of Paris and outlying towns. Only 3% of the traffic is accounted for by Eurostar. There is a further construction project to build a connecting hallway between Gare du Nord and Gare de l'Est, which is projected to open around the time when the new LGVS begins serving the station. When open, the Gare du Nord Gare de l'Est complex will have 77 platforms. Security for the station is provided by the French police, the railways police and private security companies. Due to the position of the station as a gateway to the northern suburbs of Paris, there are some parts of the station where security incidents occur from time to time. In popular culture, the Gare du Nord has served as a backdrop in numerous French films, for instance in Les Paupers Russes. In Nancy Mitford's The Pursuit of Love, Linda first meets Fabrice in the Gare du Nord when she's run out of resources and is sitting weeping on her suitcase. In US movies, both the exterior and the interior of the Gare du Nord are seen in the 2002 film The Bourne Identity with Matt Damon, and again in the trilogy's finale, The Bourne Ultimatum, released in August 2007. It was also seen in Ocean's 12 in 2004, and Mr. Bean's Holiday in 2007. The ending of the 2012 movie The Raven by James McTeague takes place at the station. Scenes of Gossip Girl's episode Double Identity were shot inside the Gare du Nord. It is also mentioned in Polaris by Jimmy Eat World off their album Futures. In addition, the station was featured in the video from the song Home by Blake Shelton. One of Poésie Noire songs is called Gare du Nord. Furthermore, Keaton Henson has a song titled 10 a.m. Gare du Nord. The station is also mentioned in the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, as well as in The Historian by Elizabeth Kostover. The station is featured in a North Korean propaganda documentary about the failure of democracy in Europe, satirized by comedian Alan Hill as How Americans Live Today in 2013. In the redub, it is shown as Hill makes reference to parts of America that are disguised as foreign countries in Europe. Train services. The following services currently call at Paris Nord: high-speed services Paris, London. High-speed services Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam. High-speed services Paris, Brussels, Cologne, Essen, Dortmund. High-speed services Paris, Brussels, Cologne. High-speed services Paris, Lille. High-speed services Paris, Lille, Tourcoing. High-speed services Paris, Lille, Calais. High-speed services Paris, Lille, Calais, Boulogne, Rang-du flies. High-speed services Paris, Lille, Dunkirk. High-speed services Paris, Arras, Bethune, Dunkirk. High-speed services Paris, Arras, Douai, Valenciennes. Intercity services Paris, Amiens, Abbeville, Rang-du flies, Boulogne. Intercity services Paris, Saint-Quentin, Maubeuge. Intercity services Paris, Saint-Quentin, Cambrai. Regional services Paris, Saint-Denis, Montsold, Mafliers, Les Ushers. Regional services Paris, Saint-Denis, Montsold, Mafliers, Passan-Beaumont. Regional services Paris, Saint-Denis, Air Montauban, Passan-Beaumont. Regional services Paris, Saint-Denis, Air Montauban, Pontoise. Regional services Paris, Aulnay-sous-Bois, Matriclay, Creux-Pyn Valois. Regional services Paris, Creux-Pyn Valois, Soissons-Laon. Regional services Paris, Creil, Compiègne, Tourgne, Saint-Quentin. Regional services Paris, Passan-Beaumont, Beauvais. Regional services Paris, Oreilleville, Creil, Saint-Just-en-Chaussee, Breteuil, Amiens. Regional services Paris, Oreilleville, Creil, Compiègne. RER Gare du Nord is well connected to the Paris RER network. Lines B and D call at platforms under the station. Line B serves Charles de Gaulle Airport, Matriclay in the northeast of the city, and Antony, Massy-Paléo for Massy TGV and Saint-Arrêt les Chevreuils in southwest Paris. Line D offers a quick connection between Gare du Nord and Gare de Lyon and many areas of southeast Paris. Line D also operates to northern Paris, to Saint-Denis and Creil. Both lines B and D serve Stade de France in Saint-Denis. The RER station is directly connected to Magenta Station, which was constructed further underground to the east of the Gare du Nord. It is served by the RER line that offers a link between the Gare du Nord and Saint-Lazare, Gare Saint-Lazare, and to eastern Paris, to Bondy, Chelles and Tournon-en-Brie. Paris Metro lines 4 and 5, whose following station is Gare de Lyon. There has been a connecting hallway connecting the RER station with La Chapelle on line 2 since the 1990s.